Starting out in the same place. Well, that makes sense. But trying to get the water on the inside of the windshield, which is probably a lot from my breath. Maybe all from my breath. I don't know. It seems like quite a lot. And there was more on other windows too. So this is me. This is the car. It's a mess. Well, it looks more of a mess than it actually is. And I need to get this water off. If I go at it with a towel, it becomes a mess. So I'm trying opening the windows and just running lots of air over it. Let's see if I don't know how long that would take, but I gotta get to where I can see out the windshield, and I can start moving again. Probably gonna go to a truck stop, get a shower, and then see either I might swing by Canyonlands as I go by, or just head straight up to Moab. I'm not sure. We'll see how I feel. I'll get going. In the course of me staying here, it snowed a couple of times. I've seen cows and deer. And then it's sort of thought out. It's actually nice that it's still a little frozen out there. It's a little colder than it maybe looks. It looks nice and sunny, so it probably will get warm today. But it was still a little bit frozen, so it made me, when I was tromping around the car, moving all this stuff around, it made it not so messy. My shoes aren't crazy muddy, so that's nice. So I'll just get rid of this and then get out of here. Well, it's about time to get going. Start up the engine, see how we do getting out of here. See, getting back on the main road. See what it's like. I've been watching some YouTube while I've been sitting here. Some guys called Colin and Samir. They talk about different things about video creation. Now I gotta back between two trees and not hit them. And then find a way to turn around and get back to something that looks like a road. There we go. And there's probably a little bit of moisture still in the frame. There's a little bit up on top, but I don't want to wait for it all to. It's going to take too long to all disappear. I'm already getting a late start. So we'll probably go by Durango. I'll probably go like a longer route than I need to get to the truck stop I think I'm aiming at. I found a truck stop using the Trucker Path app. It's a newer truck stop and has a good rating. So I'd probably like to take a shower there. Let's see what all this is. Looks like some mud on the road. We'll see how we do in that. And then we got a bunch of sage. I guess it's sagebush or something. I'm just making up words. I don't know what that is. Let's see how this goes. Definitely feel it squishy. Just take it slow and try not to end up in a ditch. I'm having a little bit of an issue, like just, I don't know. I think I've maybe missing some form of positive human connection, but I don't know where to get it. A lot of people are missing that right now, or something like it at least. Let's see, this looks even worse. I'm gonna go over here because I'm trying to stay up on top, and I don't think there's going to be another car coming, and if there was, we'll have to figure that out. But I don't know, it's just in some ways, like I don't know why I'm going anywhere to see anything in some ways, like, and it might be some of my old mental processes from the cloudier side of my mind. Oh, look, here's somebody. And are they going to make it super awkward? Let's see. Let me see if they're going to help make it better. Oh, we got it. All right. Now there's a little bit of a pothole we're going to avoid, or big lip there on the edge of the concrete. And let's go. I can hear mud slinging off. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. It feels like it. Hopefully it's not sticking to the underside of the car. Hopefully it's bouncing off. There we go. On the road, here we go. And this road, I can take all the way to Durango. There's a shorter path there's several shorter paths that would get me to the truck stop quicker, but I think I might just go straight to Durango just because I want to see what it looks like. I think we get closer to the mountains that way. Might be a night. I don't know. Durango's not really. I don't know. I can't remember if it's like I don't think it's right up in them, so it might not even be worth it. I don't know. We'll see what I feel like when I see some intersections. But I don't know. A lot of times I have this very high inertia. A lot of times where when I'm not moving, it's very hard to get moving. And once I get moving, I can move for a little while. It takes a while to slow me down. But yeah, so like right now it feels good getting out on the road. I don't know what I'm gonna see. Let's see. Don't know where I'm going. Don't know what I'm doing. That's one of the nice things about I kind of do look forward to getting back to trucking. So I am actually looking forward to going back to work. I'm gonna have to go through a training process, which isn't going to be fun. The 3 weeks with the trainer, that's not going to be great, but we'll make the best of it. Try to get through it. I can't take any of that for granted. Like I said before, there are plenty of ways I could fail the training. So I gotta be careful, pay attention, do the work. But I think I'll get into it, and I think it'll be nice to get back to work, get on the road, start making progress. The whole thing around that is you're always, it's very easy to be in the right place doing the right thing. And that sometimes when you're on your own, under your own authority, it can be more difficult to know if you're doing that. I think that's what a lot of people like, having a job, having somebody tell them what to do, because it is easier. So there's something to that. But and for me, like, what I could potentially do, like, there's potential in, I don't know, working for myself. I was working for a TaskRabbit. I could have done more to work on my own. I just didn't seem like a path to the life I wanted. Trucking it pays well enough. I think part of it is just our economy. It's all messed up. It's completely messed up. Like all our social systems, top to bottom, are messed up. So like, I used to think about this, like what do I have to say about anything? Like, I could think about other people saying that. What do I have to say about anything? But on the other side, like, what do you have to say about anything either? Like, all y'all are living in this world that you've helped create and you've helped maintain, and it's shit. And like, maybe it's better than it was. I don't know. Yeah, that is probably true. Like, it's always been a big problem, and lots of problems, and people are problems, and things are problems. There's always problems. So, I do think, like, if you look over history, what I've learned of it, maybe that's the way I learned it, or maybe it's not true, but I think it is. It looks like it's true that we are progressing, but it's still a mess. So, but what's the likelihood? Like, what's the likelihood that I could say something that would make it better? I don't know. And I guess that's where I think you need to show what you can do, rather than, if you can say something that people resonate with, maybe that's valuable. And I thought sometimes some of the stuff I might be able to say, I feel like sometimes I might be able to articulate what other people are thinking in a way, or articulate something that gives them traction for what they've been feeling. Maybe I can do that. But I think going into trucking is a good place to start. Like, I tried making videos earlier, and it feels like I don't have a place to start that way. I feel like with the trucking, it gives me a place to start, and it's a good profession. It's valuable. The job's not that hard. There's aspects to it that a lot of people don't like, and so it's still valuable. Partly because of the quantity, the mass, the scale of it, of what it's dealing with. You can still make decent money there, and how hard it is to convince people to go out and live that lifestyle. And for me, that lifestyle is not so bad, so it's a fit there. Might as well take advantage of it. But then when get out to stuff like this, like, I should be more motivated. Should have. I want to see beautiful things. I want to go see cool things. I'm interested in a lot of different things, but it's just so much easier. I guess that's part of it. It's just so much easier just watching YouTube videos. To be interested, to be entertained. Like, there's so much high quality stuff there. So that's hard to compete with. And like, I'm just kind of rambling. I don't have my thoughts ironed out, so I don't know. Maybe I'll say something foolish. I do worry about that. But maybe if it's too foolish, I can edit it out. But I don't know. Where was I? I don't know. Oh, I worry about like, well, whatever beautiful stuff I find. Like, there's also a weird thing where you go and find this beautiful stuff and then you leave. Like, why don't you stay? Why don't you stay where it's nice, where you like to be? But that's another advantage to trucking is perhaps I may be able to choose where I live, and over a course of a couple of years, I expect to be able to earn enough to buy some property. I still don't know exactly where it is that I want to settle down, but that'll be part of that process, figuring out where I want to live, and then seeing what I can do to establish a place that's beautiful and good that I want to be, and find a way also to share it with others, maybe in just a small scale, maybe a town of some sort, maybe just a family, who knows. Maybe invite strangers in a way that's like an inn or a Airbnb kind of thing. I would like to find people I belong with. In a way that I don't think I've found before. I don't know exactly what that might be, and maybe that's not really a thing. Maybe that's just a dream that's not real. But can keep looking and see, and try to build and see. Maybe there's other people who want to build with me and might share. I think I'll be able to start sharing some of my ideas as I learn how to communicate, and maybe there will be some more people that resonate, and we can find some common ground. I think that's a big key phrase. It's been around a while. A lot of people say a lot about it, but I've been really thinking about it. That's the place to start with, like a friendship or trying to get to know somebody. I think that's how to do it. I think part of where we are, I don't know, as a culture, as a moment in time, or what's happening is like, I think we have to relearn a lot of things that people used to know and they've forgotten, like how to be friends, how to be a community, how to live in a town together. What makes that valuable? Why wouldn't people, like, there's I was looking at some of those like mining towns where it looked like a miserable existence, but you couldn't convince people to leave because they had family and friends there. And I've never experienced something like that. And there's other stories where even like a friend of my mom's, that they have this turmoil, and my idea is just leave. I mean, you got money, just leave. Why are you still there? But they got friends that are valuable to them, and so I don't even like when they say that. Oh, okay, that makes sense. But it's not something that crossed my mind as a first thing, a consideration, because I haven't had that be like such a valuable attachment to a place because of the people. And yeah, I think we'll have to relearn some of those things that made that work, made friendship work. And I guess one of the things I found or when I'm looking at that or thinking about it, common ground is the place to start, I guess. Points of difference are what make it interesting, and that's where we've completely missed, like, not been able to function. It feels to me like we're not even really adults. Like, I don't know. I don't think, like, I don't know, in a lot of ways. But that's one of the ways, is that people have not been brought up in a way that lets them interact with differences usefully, properly, in a good way. And differences are what makes it worthwhile to get to know another person, is the differences. If they're all the same, if everybody was all the same, there's nothing to trade, there's nothing of value that I have that you don't. We're all the same. If we're all the same, we're all the same. Like, and people are replaceable. That's how people are starting to get treated. They're getting treated that way at their job. They're getting treated that way at their church. Like, you have these certain ways, and maybe they'll add a spice of variety. And there's like 5 different ways. There's 5 different roles that you can fill. Or like at your high school, maybe you knew that there was the nerd guy, the funny guy, the sports guy. There's a couple of the roles that you fill, and people start like molding themselves into one or the other. And like, it seems like everywhere you go, it's like that. So maybe it's not just all the same, but like maybe there's 10 varieties of people that because they've all conformed themselves to this, like, the stereotypes that they're supposed to be. But it's our uniqueness and our differences that gives us the potential, if we find the way to make that what is it in us that's unique, find what's valuable about that, we might have something to share with the world that the world doesn't have yet. Or maybe just our neighbors, Maybe somebody in China has that already, or somebody in Australia, but we haven't talked to them yet. So maybe it's you that takes it to your neighbor. And I feel like the other thing is we've seen so much of what the worst of people is like in our culture. And I've seen that for myself. Like, I've seen a lot of what I'm like at my worst. I've not seen what I'm like at my best very much. And I don't think I've ever been at my truly, like, I don't know if you can ever reach your full potential, but like, I've never been anywhere near my full potential. And I don't even know what that looks like, what that's like. But I do think, maybe this goes back into what I was saying. Maybe there's an answer here, that I think that part of the full potential is in some way a collaborative effort between the other people. Somehow there has to be some sort of, it feels like, I don't have any like proof of this, but that feels right to me, that there's some part of reaching our full potential that needs community, that needs a place to share and interact, and it's all like almost like chemical reactions that bring the possibility of something new that neither the people could bring themselves, but between them they can create something that can be more than and different than what they could do on their own. And so I guess I don't know where to find that, where to look for that. So I guess for now I'll do what I know I can do. I'll drive and I'll look, see if I can find some beauty, maybe do some more thinking. I don't know. I think also, though, I think that maybe thinking too much, there's definitely a thinking too much, and a lot more stuff needs to be put into action. So I guess that's where going to work and building up some power, some financial power, so I can start putting some of my vision or some of my experiments to test and have enough to start trying to interact with the world a little bit more on my own terms and see what I can do. So I'm actually starting to look forward to going back to work. And I'm not sure as much about what I'm doing out here right now. So we'll see if I can find what I'm doing out here. We'll see if I can find something that makes sense. And what? stopping at a cool rest area because my the light that indicates, hold on, let me turn this music off. The light that indicates a low air pressure in the tire has been on, and I actually filled up all the tires with air before I left the last gas station. So I wanted to check and make sure they were doing good. They all seem to be doing good. I think it's the driver's side rear tire seems to be losing air faster, or at least on this, at the time I filled it up this time, it had noticeably less pressure than the other tires, but it seems fine now. I think the sensor might have just been staying on. I don't know. It's off now. It's staying off now. So I don't know what its deal is. But before I passed Moab, I just wanted to make sure it didn't look like it was something I needed to take care of. So I'm passing by the Canyonlands now, I think, something like that. They're pretty cool terrain here. We've got the snow-capped mountains and the desert cliffs and formations. Pretty cool. Pretty chill, not too bad. It's like 60 degrees. Really nice, actually. So that's cool. I've been thinking about what it is I am actually looking for, and I think looking for friends, looking for a community. Sometime I would like to settle into a place. I don't know how I'm going to decide and how I'm going to find the right place. I do know that being alone isn't the worst thing. There are many friend groups and situations that are a lot worse than that. I watched I noticed that with a couple of the situations on some of the YouTube videos I was watching last night. And that's kind of, I used to be a lot more bitter about being alone all the time. I sort of gotten a lot more accustomed to it, and I know there are definitely some benefits to it. It is hard for me to imagine what it would look like to actually spend time with people. Most of the things, like, it seems like most people like, I just don't even like. I don't care. Or like the things that they do, the parties and the sports and is that all I think that's all they do. I think, talk about sport, or I don't know. Sometimes they get irritated and talk about stuff that they can't do anything about, like talk about politics and stuff. And I guess, I don't know, I would like Well, then there's the church thing. I don't really, I believe in God and the Bible, but I don't believe in the church as I've seen it anywhere that I've looked. I think I think they don't take God seriously, they don't take Jesus seriously, and they don't take the Bible seriously. They accept only what they're willing to accept, and it's more the religion of Paul and the doctrines of Paul that are most influential. And I don't know if he had the vision of what Jesus was doing on earth, setting up his kingdom. It's a very different. I read the New Testament last year, and it seemed, that's one of the things that stood out to me, is that there's a lot of what Jesus says that gets ignored a lot in the church. Doesn't end up on the pulpit, doesn't get said a lot. Many are called, but few are chosen. That's one. The way is narrow, and few there are who find it. That's another one. He's not a Billy Graham. I think there's a harsher reality than a lot of people want to admit. They like the manufactured God that they've sanitized, and they put him in boundaries, what things he can really mean and what things he can really do, and everything else has to be, they do interesting antics to try to explain how things happen in the world that it doesn't make sense the way they explain it. And people notice that. Because I think a big part of it, I think, is they've made it all revolve around what's good for them or what's good for people. That they anyways, should probably cut this out. Anyways, I don't know, but I do have visions for a community center, a grocery store, an armory. I don't know if I could do them all myself, or like, it just seems too much. What I want is too much. Like, how am I going to find people? I think the way I think is pretty rare, and I don't know what is the most important parts, and like what to let go of, like what to make a big deal out of, what not to. So yeah, I don't know how I'm going to find friends. I don't know what avenue to go along, like what makes sense to try to find people that believe in the Bible and are ready to read it and follow it where it leads, I don't know if people are ready. I don't know if there are people that are ready for that. They like the safe and the, I don't know, it's like the sanitized religion. But it's been a long history of that, the sanitized religion. So they feel good about being part of that, but I don't think it's true. I do need to read more of the Old Testament before I say too much more, I guess. But I was starting to read Isaiah, and I was just noticing how different it is from anything you hear in in church or anywhere that I've been. So maybe I don't look for friends on that avenue. Maybe that's not something that's likely to happen. So maybe I'll look for friends along some other avenue, some other interest, some other, what do you call it, common interest, or what was the common ground? That's it. So I would like to start getting to the outdoors, the outdoor community. That still has a lot of the people. I really have liked a lot of people that are in that community. Where I usually depart from them a lot is the substances they use in camp. I don't know it's not as big of an issue with that group as it is with others. But that is just a big problem. I guess it's always been like that, but people trying to escape their lives. And it seems like it would be better if, instead of trying to escape your life, you tried to make a life that you didn't want to escape. And how do you do that? I don't know. I think it probably takes a lot of work. So it probably is easier to get drunk or get high and forget about things. That's what a lot of people do. But I guess maybe that's more likely, that I might find people that are interested in, or maybe that would be the message that might draw some people who are willing to try a different kind of a lifestyle that isn't anchored around our vices. Like, that's what it seems like American culture, or maybe even other cultures too, like a lot of cultures are proud of how well they drink, and people seem to be pretty proud of how much they get high or whatever, how much they're out of their mind. Like, and then there's other vices too. People know it's not good for them, but they're real proud of it. And we sort of like define our leisure and our I don't know, time off, or what, there's a better word I can't think of right now, but it's all centered around vices instead of being centered around virtue. And like, what would that even look like? Like, what people don't look for virtue, don't look for that. Even in like games, like people like to people like the loot. They like to take stuff. They don't like to. They like to pretend they're a pirate or a thief. It's not as well. There are the people that like to pretend they're a paladin. I think there's space for that. That's one of the things I've noticed that I like is being able to play a game that lets me experiment with what it's like to have power and try to do good with it, and to see the effects of that. I like that. I think that's what if I do get into game development, that would, I think I might, as like a hobby at some point. I think that would be one of the things that I would be looking for. I've got several different ideas, but one of them would be to try to incorporate a way to let people experiment what having power and trying to do good might be like. I think games don't have to just be games. I think they can say, let's see, this seems more complicated. I don't know what's going on. The guy's not turning. He's not all the way up at the intersection. I probably need to switch to hyperlapse when I get a chance and concentrate on driving. Switch. I need to get my navigation system running. Try to find. I'm looking for. Going to go look for a campsite north of the Arches Park on the northwest side of it. There's supposed to be a place that has a bunch of dispersed camping that has it sounds like it might have a bunch of spots, so go look there and see if I can find something. See how we do. Might be able to switch the camera out this light.